tell you about this chicken I keep seeing?
A chicken?
A chicken.
No.
When I'm driving down Dale past this one graveyard, there's always a chicken on the fucking side of the road, pecking at the ground on my Saturdays when I go. And the first time I was like, what the fuck? Second time I was like, that chicken? I think it spends all day just poking at the ground.
Yeah, that's what they normally do.
But there's no houses there. There's just that graveyard. This chicken lives in the woods. Well, I'm Jason.
And I'm Jules.
And
we doing filmographies.
We're doing a Jason pick tonight.
Kind of a yogurt to help cleanse the palate between filmographies.
I really liked Good Time a ton.
Good Time.
The Safdie brothers movie.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Robert Pattinson. I know.
Or heard of it.
I know.
Is that the one where he's in the limo?
No. I liked Uncut Gems, but not as much as I thought I would. So I've always wanted to watch the earlier Safdie brothers movies. And I've had Daddy Longlegs sitting on my computer for like a year. And I'm just like, I don't want to watch this guy be a bad dad. That doesn't sound interesting. But then, hey, here we are.
Right.
It's a Jason pick.
Yeah, the interesting thing about movies is, you kind of got to be in the right headspace to really probably get the maximum amount of benefits and enjoyment out of it. So a IFC indie drama about not really like a dirtbag dad.
He's not a good dad, though.
He's not a good dad.
He's more of a friend than a father.
He's more of a friend, yes, but also treats his kids as if they're like his age. So I was like, I gotta watch it, So I'm gonna watch it, but I'm just sort of like, man, I don't know, Am I in the right mood? I don't know. And it was a pretty enjoyable movie.
I will tell you, the first 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. This is a bad pick. This isn't what I want.
Yeah.
It looks good. It's acted well.
Uh-huh.
This is boring, but it accumulates. It snowballs. It's very interesting.
It does. In fact, thinking back on when we were doing Spookies, I was on edge, unnerved for a couple of moments in this movie and for pretty much the end of it throughout.
Yeah.
I had reservations and kind of an issue with the camera work.
Really? I think that's one of its big strengths.
Well, then reading that interview that they did, it kind of made sense. They were using a lot of long angle lenses from further away to sort of allow, I'm assuming they didn't, maybe they had permits, maybe they didn't. It kind of felt very much like,
no,
especially if they were shooting from like across the street, sort of hidden. But that they said that allowed the neighborhood around the scene to react naturally, as you would, seeing some guy bumbling around with kids. And there's not a lot going on, or rather there isn't a lot of connective tissue to a lot of what's going on, but it's a pretty well laid out and told story that reminded me of something that I definitely would have watched this back in my art house days. I would have been like bragging about this one. So yeah, Daddy Longlegs. It was from 2009. Originally, it was titled "Go Get Some Rosemary" when it was released or shown at festivals. Oddly enough, IMDb has it rated as TV 14.
Well, I don't think it's ever been a TV thing.
Came out May 16th, 2010. No indication of what the budget is. The Safdie brothers themselves said, we don't even know what we spent on this movie. Its U.S. and Canada gross was $21,766. Its worldwide gross, $33,217. Assuming you could make a movie like El Mariachi for $9,000 or Primer, I'm going to venture to guess this movie probably cost somewhere around $3,000 or $4,000.
You think so? It's shot on film.
I think they said their biggest expense was that they actually rented Lenny's apartment, which allowed them to sort of fill it full of like nostalgic things from their past. Because it's sort of based on their father, who was then filtered through the lens of, what's the actor's name? Ronald Bronstein.
He was a director. He's not even an actor, right?
Mm-hmm. The real life father of the actors that played the two boys plays their stepdad in the film that we see at the dinner when the mom's yelling at Lenny over the phone, the guy that's just at the table. Yeah. That's their stepdad. He is also a co-founder of the band Sonic Youth.
Oh, really?
Lee Reynaldo. Because the boys, Sage and Frey, their names is actually Sage and Frey Ronaldo. Apparently, the Softies, one of them or both of them, saw the boys just out and approached them and their mom like, hey, you want to be in a movie?
Can I have your boys?
And then both are also only in one other thing called Seven Heaven Love Ways.
Can I tell you what Frownland is about?
Please, by all means.
A salesman has a different kind of life, eating eggs and popcorn off the door of his portable oven.
That's a synopsis right there.
What the fuck is going on with Frownland?
How much of the movie do you think is him eating eggs and popcorn?
I have to watch this movie.
Also, apparently Lenny is supposed to be 34 in this movie.
But is he older?
I don't know if the actor is, but boy, he felt like closer to my age.
Yeah.
Early 40. I mean, not that it's a huge leap, but...
I thought he seemed older too. As soon as they were like 34, I was like, this guy's that much younger than me? What?
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. It's filmed in New York. Ronald Bronstein is Lenny. Sage Ronaldo and Frey Ronaldo play Sage and Frey Sokol. Eleanor Hendricks played the character Lenny, not to be confused with the character Lenny, because Lenny's girlfriend is Lenny, but Leni instead of Lenny. The most notable thing that actor has been in, that I can tell, was the 2002 movie called Highway.
Jared Leto, Jake Gyllenhaal, Selma Blair.
I've seen this. Did you
God
see it?
awful. No. I saw the trailer. I'm going to watch it.
It ends with Jake Gyllenhaal getting his feet broken for doing something.
Maybe I did see this.
They stomp him.
Jared Leto's like, they're on a road trip or something.
Yeah.
He's like sleeping with some guy's wife.
I think yeah. It's not good.
No, it doesn't look good at all. Dakota O'Hara plays Roberta, which is a really bizarre character in this movie.
Who's Roberta?
She's the lady that takes them upstate with her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. What is that whole situation about?
I have no idea.
Okay.
No idea. And Faraz al-Ramahi, who plays Faraz.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
You want your synopses?
Did we not do one?
No.
Oh, please.
A father juggling his kids with the rest of his responsibilities is ultimately faced with the choice of being their father or their friend.
Yeah.
What did you watch this on?
Must have been Amazon. $3.99, I think. You can tell it's an early effort, but it's still very well done.
They're good.
They're absolutely good. They know, considering the circumstances that this was filmed under, I mean, yeah, they came away with a pretty solid movie. And honestly, like, at the Rosemary point going forward, I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in this movie.
Oh, when he sends them off to get food?
Mm-hmm. And then they come back and, everything's crazy now. So, the basic idea, I mean, we open up and he's picking up his kids from school because his ex-wife, she has almost complete custody, except 2 weeks in the summer, he gets to have them.
Yep.
Even though, I mean, she's really just doing him a favor at this point because the kids like him.
But they live in the same city, right? So there's no reason, why can't he be more of a part of their lives? Because he's a fucking fuck.
Yeah, it seems like it isn't until after the bulk of this movie that he feels like he needs to be more of a part of their life, but not in any rational adult way.
No.
Because there are moments when you see him with the kids where, he's a dad, right? But so much more of it, he's a complete fuck up.
I mean, starting with the beginning when he goes to pick them up, and the kids have been causing problems.
Let me tell you what happened today.
All right,
okay?
I suggest you do that.
First of all, Frey assaulted his math teacher.
And he's just like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Not my boys. Fuck you.
I'm walking here. He's a total New Yorker. The one boy had like a piece of hair.
Yeah, he cut a girl's hair off.
Did he cut it? I thought he yanked it out of another boy's head.
I think he might have pulled it.
Because that boy was picking on another kid. And they don't seem to maybe be doing super great in their learning.
Well, this is very interesting because at the end, when you see them in their natural habitat, you're like,
right, yeah.
These kids are doing great.
Yeah, it's funny because you
assume that they're little pieces of shit.
Yeah. And also that the mom, I mean, maybe it's just because Lenny is
so unstructured.
And that as she has to interact with him, which is the only time we really see her, she's at her wit's end. So maybe she's actually a good parent. But
I think she is.
The stepfather seems to sort of be pretty hands-off. Because she even says, like, what are you doing? You're just sitting here? Like, that's what you're doing?
Yeah.
And he has no line. So yeah, he picks up the kids and he's just like, principal, shut the fuck up, bro. I don't want to hear it. You don't talk down to me in front of my kids.
And there's that other fucking kid just hanging out with them.
Yeah, he's like,
there's 3 brothers? No.
My mom said I can come with you guys. And he's like, no.
Beat it, dude.
Right. I don't care where you go. But he does sort of follow them, right?
Yeah, for a couple blocks.
The dad throws the clump of hair and he picks it up. He's like,
hey guys, I always wanted a blonde mustache. How do I look? Fancy, y'all.
I like that kid. It cuts away to a homeless guy and another gentleman comes walking up the street and he goes, you say you're a vet. A lot of people pull that bullshit. It ain't real. And he's like, no, I was in the 145,000th, 80th Air Wing and whatever. I'm going to give you money, but I'm a vet too. So I want you to, utilize it. if I come back here, don't worry about it, man. I'll be good. And then it cuts then to the dad walking by him. And the guy's asking him for money. And he sends the kid, I think, into the store for some reason. So he's waiting outside. And the guy's like, come on, man, give me some money. And he's like, I don't have any money, man. I'm with my kids. Like, you asked for your money. I don't have it. Now leave me alone. And he just starts doing a handstand. And all of this change falls out of his pocket like he's fucking Cosmo Kramer at the calzone place.
What the hell is this, pennies? You penny change? That's all I got.
He looks a lot like Cosmo Kramer now.
He does, yeah. And he's like,
Oh, shit. Get it quick. Forget the money. Come on, guys. Forget it.
He's handstand walking down the street, which...
He's showboating. He's entertaining the kids.
He is, but as a native New Yorker, you think he would be the last person who'd want his hands on the New York City street.
Yeah, that's legit, man.
And then the homeless guy runs and gets the change. So then, they just go home. I think it jumps to the next morning immediately.
Racquetball.
Because the girlfriend comes in and she's talking about fixing them breakfast. And she's like, oh, I brought cereal.
The guy at the supermarket, you know what he said? He said that 1 out of every 1,000,000 boxes has a very special prize in it. Very special prize in it, right? You guys want to empty it out?
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is this? You're dumping all that cereal?
Yeah, and she just dumps the cereal on the tablecloth, and there's a salamander in like a petri dish.
Yeah.
Sealed petri dish.
Well, but there's air holes, which means, feces or urine could have come out and gotten in the cereal.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
What is that? Salamander!
Whoa. Ugh.
So she's poking a hole in the lid of a Tupperware, like, we're going to put it in this.
That's so fucking depressing.
We need some gravel. So he just starts putting cereal in there. And he goes, oh, no, wait, because he's got a fish tank. He just reaches in and dishevels all of this gravel that the fish, meticulously laid out in their home. And he just starts dumping it in the Tupperware. It's dripping. The cereal's all fucked up.
It's so gross and so sad and so stupid.
Yeah.
This poor lizard is going to have a horrible life.
I mean, for one...
It's going to be dead in a week.
Oh, absolutely. And then I think the lizard falls at one point. She goes to grab it and he like slaps her hand or something playfully. But why didn't she bring something to put it in?
Yeah.
Right?
I thought they were going to put it in that fucking tank. I didn't realize it was full of water.
Yeah.
And then they go for the
I don't think there was
Tupperware.
actually fish that we saw.
I didn't see a fish in there.
No.
Maybe it's hiding.
So then she pulls him aside and she's like,
What?
What was that in there? What was that? Just like slapped my hand
All
away
right,
like
the kids.
why are you talking to me like that? In front of the kids. I'm sorry. I was just clowning around, And, so I think he takes him to school again because we don't see this till a little bit later, but he's a projectionist. And so he's dating this seemingly younger gal. I think he then goes to a bar with a friend of his, and he's talking about he likes this girl at the end of the bar. When they cut to her, she's like in the arms of a man, making like strong eye contact and flirty cutie face. So I'm like, what is this? Is he talking about the bartender? So he sends her a drink, and she looks at him and drinks it. And then jump cut to her getting out of the shower nude the next morning. Right?
There goes that TV-14 rating.
And her bed is like in the bathroom. It's like a really small apartment.
Yeah, isn't that how all New York is?
I guess. And he goes, so you probably want me to leave, right? And she goes, well, no, I mean, you can hang out for a little bit, but then, yeah, you got to leave. Because she says she's going upstate. And he goes, man, I haven't been out of the city in years. And then cut to him rushing into his apartment, waking up his kids because they both sleep in a bed. He sleeps on a fold-out sofa. Was anybody watching them?
No. That's one of my big problems with this movie.
Because later he makes a big deal about these kids need to be watched. But I'm pretty sure
as soon as they go to sleep, he leaves.
Gets wasted, goes and has sex with this chick who's got a bush.
What time do you think this is? Like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning?
It must be. Is it a weekend? Because he's like, guys, get up.
We're going upstate.
Vacation.
All right, come on. Pack your bags, guys.
I don't have any bags.
Dump out your school books. And the kid's got like a Power Ranger in his. And we going swimming? I'm bringing the trunks. And then we cut down to the car where Roberta is with her boyfriend, Faraz.
And I think we are going to have a nice time.
Yeah, sure.
And
That is her boyfriend, right?
Yes, he says, I'm your boyfriend.
So I'm going with my boyfriend.
We were going upstate together this weekend because we're dating. And you invite some guy? Well, he was sad. Well, now I'm sad and mad. And surprise, surprise, not only did she invite a guy, he's now invited his 2 young children.
She had no idea.
But she doesn't seem at all upset.
There's a little bit of a, ugh.
So Faraz is like not cool with this.
Well, why would he be?
Lenny just piles his boys in the back seat.
Are the kids 7 and 9? So it's like a first grader and a third grader.
So he's in the back reading to them. Faraz is like not with it. He's very upset, trying to be as cool as he can be.
He's working at it, yeah.
You know, the guy's like, oh, I brought a tape. And he's like, I can't listen. I'm allergic to music.
Yeah.
I can't listen to music while I'm driving. Later on, he's like, hey, Lenny, get up, man. I need you to drive. I'm tired. No, man, just pull over and we'll sleep. No, we have to keep going. Get out and drive.
This is a really long trip they're going on.
Mm-hmm. Several hours, I guess.
Well, I mean, if it's morning to night, they're driving in the night. This is terrible.
Upstate New York, I mean, you know, what was that one place that did that movie? Woodstock? Remember that movie?
Yeah.
They did about that music festival.
Taking Woodstock?
I think it was just called Woodstock.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Not the Ang.
No, Taking Woodstock, that was the third in the Taking franchise with Channing Tatum. They took the White House and then London. Oh, no, that's the Jerry Butler one.
Yeah.
And then Woodstock's fallen.
Yep.
That was the third one. So they get up there and, I mean, like, I don't know. They're kind of having a time.
These kids are actually really well behaved for being trapped in the car for possibly 14 hours.
It kind of felt like once they got there, Faraz and Roberta would maybe just do their thing. It was just a ride. But no, I mean, they're all together.
This is so fucked up, too, when Lenny's like, all right, guys, well, I'm going to stay here. And
so they go to the boat, right? Yeah. They all climb on, and he's like, yeah, all right, I'll see you in a couple hours. What, a couple hours? I'll see you in a couple hours? And they're like, no, what are you doing? Get on the fucking boat. What are you going to go do? Go get drunk?
You don't know these people. You're going to leave your kids with them? You're going to subject them to your children?
On a boat?
Fuck. Can you imagine if I just ditched Max and Jack with fucking whoever?
Yeah, on a boat?
It'd be terrible.
In a foreign land?
One of them's going in the water.
Oh, absolutely. So they're water skiing. Faraz is water skiing. Faraz's friend is driving the boat.
He's stealing Faraz's thunder, man.
Oh, big time.
It's crazy.
Because his friend seems to really like them.
Yeah.
Faraz's friend. And then all of a sudden, like a boat goes by and the guy's water skiing and he's singing. There's like a guy playing a trumpet in the boat. There's a big sound system. And he goes, what is that? He goes, oh, that's just, and he names whatever the guy's name is. I guess he just water skis and sings ballads in his spare time. It's very odd.
Isn't it kind of surreal and dreamlike?
I mean, it's handled sort of matter of fact, but it in and of itself is very bizarre. But it's not the first time this movie gets a little wackadoo.
Do you mean the last time?
It's not the last time this movie. So then they come back.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he runs into Lenny and she's like, where you been?
Kind of seems like they've broken up.
Kind of seems like he just left and didn't say anything. And she's like, you know what we should do? We should go upstate. And he's like, oh, I've already done that. Then does he hire the neighbor then? Is this when he hires the neighbor to watch the kids with the rare print, the young boy, while him and Lenny go out? Is that now? Yeah, he runs down to his neighbor and who kind of looks like Jay Barenthal. What is his name?
Baruchel?
Baccarel?
Baruchel.
He's like, hey, I'm going to give you this if you watch the kids for like 45 minutes, right? And he's like, yeah, all right, man. He's like, you can do your work up there. I think he's an illustrator or something. So him and Lenny go out to dinner to a Chinese restaurant. And there's a little thing where he's like, no MSG. And the guy comes back with their drinks. And he goes, here's your Coke, sir. No MSG. And they kind of condescendingly laugh. And kind of seems like Lenny, L-E-N-I, is trying to feel where this is going and sort of intimate that maybe she would like it to be a little bit more serious. But he doesn't seem to have the focus or time to devote to the relationship.
He's a perpetual child, man.
He is. I mean, we see... God, I don't remember when his French friend comes over. Is he French?
That happens after the ice cream
bags
thing.
of money?
It's not money.
I mean, sorry. For kids, it's money. Bags of candy?
Yeah.
That's after the ice cream?
I think the candy is the comfort for them after losing out on the ice cream.
Right. So after dinner, they go to the subway, miss the train. They're kind of horsing around. And she's like, why don't we just walk the track? And he's like, well, why don't I just take a nap on the third rail? Because the third rail will kill you.
Yeah.
If you touch it. It's a train thing. I don't know if you...
I did.
And he's like, no. And she's like, well, I'm going to do it. And she does it.
Yep.
So it's walking on the track. And he gets on the train, and I think that train...
she's not really, like, walking the track, right? She's on the left-hand side. There's a path that maintenance people walk along.
There's an elevated path, but I think at one point we see her actually down to the side of the track on, like, track level or whatever.
I don't like that.
No, and his train goes by, and I thought it was the train that went by her, but when he's looking out, she's nowhere to be found. So then he just goes home. while the guy was watching the boys. Seems like they're having a good time, and then they urinate into a remote control fire truck.
Into a big cup, and then they put it in the remote control fire truck.
And it's spraying at him.
Yep.
Through the hose
Just
mechanism.
Just a ton of it coming out.
And he goes, "Is this urine?"
But I mean, he's getting soaked in it for a while before he's like,
Is that pee?
Yeah.
To his credit,
he doesn't flip the fuck out.
He just wears the urine, passes out on the couch. It's obviously been like longer than 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And he wakes, Lenny comes home, he wakes him up. He's like, "Hey man, you gotta go." Thanks? No thanks? And he goes, "All right, man."
Please don't ask me to do that again. It wasn't a favor, man. I paid you.
And then she shows up while he's asleep. And it looks like she's wearing a different coat. She had like an army coat on, and now it looks like she has like a black, maybe leather jacket on. Maybe that's just me. And he gets a phone call from work.
I think they're about to be intimate, right?
I think so. It feels very weird.
I thought they broke up and he was surprised that she came back.
That's what it felt like. After she left and he took the train, got into bed and everything, it probably had been 2 or 3 hours. And she just shows up and she feels weird, but she's there. And then he gets a phone call from work and he's like, "Look, we got all of these reels of film we have to go through and do something with, verify them or whatever. It's all hands on deck, man. There's 3 other guys here. I need you here or you're fired." So he says to Lenny, Ellie, and I need you to watch the boys. I gotta go to work. She goes, "I can't. I gotta work in the morning." She works at a flower place. "Well, what the fuck? What am I gonna do?" "Well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you." So he runs downstairs. He puts on a coat, but he's in his tighty whities. And he runs downstairs, knocks on the neighbor's door. "Bro, I need you, man. What do I gotta do to bribe you?" He's like, "I'm not doing it." So his brilliant idea.
Is this when this happens?
Uh-huh.
Well, the mugging happened way before this then.
Okay. Ice cream. I mean, we didn't talk about the footlong he got in the beginning either, but I'm not going to harp on it.
Well, there's a really good...
That is a good scene. And I don't feel where it fits in.
Earlier. That's all I could say.
I guess, yeah.
So he's going to the store, he's picking up some bread. There's a homeless guy out front trying to sell CDs to people. It's Abel Ferrara, director Abel Ferrara.
Oh, is that right?
So he's outside, he's trying to hawk these CDs to people walking by.
You like Bill Withers? No, come on. You look like a Bill Withers man. Come over here.
Yeah.
Nobody wants them. They move away quick.
So before that, Lenny, he's got his grocery bag, but in his left hand, he has 3 ice cream cones sandwiched between his knuckles.
Like a Wolverine.
And it's just melting.
Yep.
Everywhere. So yeah, then he runs across the homeless guy.
And the guy is like, hey, I got these CDs. Like,
I told you I don't have any money, man. All right?
You don't have any money? How'd you buy that ice cream, huh?
Dude, just get the fuck out of here or whatever.
Do you want some bread?
Yes.
That's
the tipping point.
Hey, some bread. Who the fuck you think you're talking to, Jack?
Whoa.
Here, try this.
All right.
And he shows that he's got a gun in his pocket.
Doesn't he take it out and point it at him?
He takes it out. He goes, "I got this," and then he puts it right back.
Hurry up, man.
Hold the fucking cones?
Yeah, I'll take the fucking cones. Yeah, you think this is a fucking game?
all right,
You think this is a fucking game, man?
No, I don't.
Yeah? You want to see those people you buying those ice
All
cream?
right. Here.
Everything's cool, bro.
Can I just buy some CDs?
There's no CDs in there.
He's pretty scary, though.
Again, it's all about the groin.
His facade dropped so fast, his fake.
Yeah, it went from I'm Eugene to I'm Dominic, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, I find the scene to be really intense and realistic feeling.
Well, and it also felt very realistic in its transactional steps. Like, I have a gun. I'm not fucking around now. And he just goes, all right.
I felt this movie really started to pick up after they went upstate. That's about the time where I started to be more invested, more interested, getting more nervous about how he's acting with these kids. Mm-hmm. It's making me uncomfortable, but I'm very into it now.
Everybody that you see, I mean, not everybody, but because there really aren't a lot of people that you've seen at this point, but it seems like people regret being his friend. Yeah. He's the kind of guy who eventually you're going to get to that point where you're no longer his friend, right? He's willing to abuse your relationship or push things way too far. So he says to Lenny,
"See one of these?
Yeah, sure.
I take these when I want to sleep through the garbage trucks in the morning, just get an extra 3 hours rest. Okay? So we divide this up.
Okay.
Give the kids a third each, right? There we go. We're good to go."
I don't know if that's a good idea. They're just little kids. I don't know.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
What's a worse idea is if they wake up and nobody's here. Do you understand that? Okay. They're going to freak the fuck out.
Puts it in a weird vial, fills it up with water.
It's a medicine delivery system for kids.
Okay.
The tube.
Okay.
It's got a little
It's like a lip.
Spout.
Almost looks like a
lippy spout on there.
She goes, is that too much? That might be too much. He's like, it's just, no. It's just an eighth. It's just an eighth. And so he goes in and while they're sleeping, just pours this into their mouth.
Well, he wakes them up and has them drink it. And
sort of. He goes, hey, buddy, drink. Okay, go back to sleep. And he goes to work.
He's fucking drugging his children. This is so irresponsible, so terrifying.
It's not a cool move, but...
This is so crazy.
Goes to work, comes home. All right, guys, wake up. Shaking them, dropping elbows on them.
They're breathing.
Yeah, but...
Not awake. Can't wake up.
So he calls Lenny, who then they call a friend of main Lenny.
But this seems like several hours later that they get to the doctor's solution. Because she's hanging out for a little bit.
Yeah.
They're working it out, right?
Right. And so the doctor comes over. And this sort of feels like the kind of guy who maybe they were friends in college, but cleaned his act up.
Yeah.
And actually went on to then do things with his life.
They're in what's called stage 4 sleep.
What is that?
It's like practically a coma. But lucky for you, they'll wake up from it.
That means they're good. They're fine.
Yeah,
they're
not fine. You are so lucky.
I'm all fucked up, man. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, if I were your friend, I would have called the police. I'm a doctor.
They will wake up. Could be a couple of hours, couple of days, couple of weeks.
They would need medical intervention long before that.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to feed them. Right.
You probably got like 2 days of them passed out before.
Peeing, maybe.
They need at least saline bags, water, And
it's closing in on the end of his time with them. So he doesn't have
3 weeks. And that guy keeps saying, if you were my friend, I'd call the police.
Right.
Fuck, you still should.
That's the last time you feel he's ever going to pick up the phone for Lenny.
Yeah, he's not going to talk to him ever again.
Because
he's put this guy in a bad spot. This is illegal for him to be there and not report it.
It's Hippocratic. He'll lose his license, to say nothing of the fact that he'll go to jail.
Fucking awful, dude.
Absolutely. And so he's like, oh, whew, good. They're going to wake up. And so then they go to Lenny's house.
He fucking leaves them again.
He leaves them, goes to Lenny's. And she's like, hey, why don't you just call home real quick to make sure that they're not up. He's like, we came over here. I got to take my mind off of it. I can't be thinking about it. She's like, well, just call. I mean, it would make me feel better.
Yeah.
And so he does, but he's a real dick. Hey, guys, it's Dad. If you're there, wake up. Answer the phone. I mean, I'm almost certain you're not awake, but I had to call you to check. And you could just see her face. It's just like...
They're not staying together.
No, it's that look on your face when you're aware that you're being, God, what's the right word? Not violated, but like when you realize how little somebody thinks of you.
Yeah.
When you think highly of them, right? So I think he goes home and is this when he's shaving and playing the music?
No, because he goes out with those friends.
Exactly.
Drinking, blowing off steam. I think he tells them what's going on, right?
So his friend is at a bar with this other guy. And then they're talking about paint orders. So I'm like, is he selling him paint? Is that what's happening here? Because then Lenny just shows up like, oh, hey, you mind if I just sit down? And the guy's like, oh, yeah, you want some of this food or whatever? He's like, nah, man, I'm just doing my thing. So they drink. And then when they're walking home, the guy's tagging because he's a tagger. And Lenny grabs the spray can and he starts tagging Dad on the side of a building. And an undercover police unit pulls up in a taxi cab. It's the weirdest thing. It blows my mind. You hear in the siren, the car squeals up, and it's a fucking yellow taxi. And they're throwing him up against the wall because they try to run, but that's not going to work. So they're arresting them, and he's like, yo, man, I didn't do it, I'm not resisting arrest. And the guy's like, shut your fucking mouth. What do you got on you? What do you got on you? I ain't got nothing. So they throw him in jail. And, he has one quarter, calls Lenny.
Lenny, it's me. This is a bona fide emergency. That was my last quarter, so I'm kind of freaking out. I need you to please go up to 35th Street and check on the kids as soon as you get this. I don't know. I have to see a judge, apparently.
So cut to him coming home from jail.
This is so fucking horrifying.
His kids are in this bed for 2 days?
At least.
Right? No food. I mean, you can't, obviously administer food, but...
You think they'd be pissing and shitting everywhere?
At least peeing. And so he puts on a loud record, and he showers, and then he's shaving, and then the boy comes in like, Dad, can you turn the music down? And he goes, oh my God, you're alive! And the other one's awake too. And he's jumping for joy, and I think later then we see him call Lenny again, and he's like, look, if you could just call me to let me know if I should stop calling you, because I don't know what's going on. That'd be great. And he takes the boys to a museum.
Tries to really have a great day out with them after almost killing them.
He goes, we overslept. You're not going to go to school now. Goes to the museum, and he's doing a nice thing where he's like, you got to tell me one interesting thing about each window before we move on.
I liked that.
I liked that quite a bit. They see this gigantic replica of a mosquito.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, those are real. They're really that big, and freaks them out.
Hardcore.
So now later, they can't sleep because they're afraid of gigantic mosquitoes.
Keep the light on, Dad.
Yeah, and he goes, well, mosquitoes are drawn to light, so, it's only going to be worse. And so he's laying in bed, and the giant mosquito lands on him and starts sucking his blood. Does he eat the kids, the mosquito?
I think so.
Doesn't he go to check on them and they're
deflated?
Gone, or are they deflated? I don't know if they could afford that effect. But so now he's fighting the mosquito.
I'm trying to figure out if I drank when I watched this movie, because a lot of it's cloudy now.
And he kills the mosquito and wakes up, and there's not a big mosquito.
No.
The kids are fine. And I think this is when he takes them home.
Yeah.
The mom comes. She can't wait to get the fuck out of there, ushering them into the cab. He has one of their bags, so the cab has to stop. And then maybe he does meet up with Lenny again. I think he calls her and he says, look, the kids are gone. This must be when he leaves that message. The kids are gone. I have more time. I can focus now on us and do right. And she's just not having it.
He's a bad dude.
He's
selfish. He's very self-centered.
He's not going anywhere. And it's apparent that he has no interest in correcting that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it's just not the life I think she wants to lead. So he calls the ex-wife.
I think he's lonely. That once the kids are gone, he's been through a lot of emotional turmoil. Yeah.
He feels like now, almost like maybe that he deserves to have them in his life, or that he deserves to be in their life, but also like he's ready.
I feel like he only sees them for those 2 weeks every year.
Yeah. How often do you think that's occurred? Is this the second year? Third year?
I don't know. I think it's probably been a little bit. I can't picture him taking care of like a very small child, though.
A baby? No.
No. Even like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
He's a real fucko.
Well, and it gets even worse. So he calls the mom and he's like, I want to see them more, And she's like, well, no.
You're lucky you even see the kids. You are, because I hear the stories. I mean, I could easily get full custody with these kids. The stories that I've heard, with all your weirdo friends, these are little kids. It's completely inappropriate with what you do with them.
Oh, shit. I forgot about the end of this movie.
I'm burning my dinner. I gotta let you go.
But, I mean, also, at this moment, like, the older of the two kids is playing piano, and you're like, oh, these aren't just little fuck-ups. This is a nice structured home. Yeah.
I know one of them's working on his homework, and she yells at him. What did you do? Did you do anything? You haven't done anything. This is why you have,
You didn't do anything for the last 2 weeks.
Right.
But the other one's playing piano.
Okay.
It's impressive. They clearly are like upper middle class, nice house.
I mean, the stepdad, he seems like, a wealthy yuppie. So with that information, now he shows up to school the next day. And the lady, I want to say her name is Roberta.
Carmen.
But that's probably just me being a racist and a misogynist. He goes, oh, no. There was a mix-up. I'm here for the kids. You don't need to be here. And he even gives her money, like whatever she was paid, I guess. I don't know. I'm a responsible person. I don't feel right about. No. Get the fuck out of here. And so he takes the kids. And he goes, all right, we're going to have dinner at my place tonight.
Fucking fuck.
He's juggling potatoes. But then he goes, we're going to need some groceries. So I'm going to need you kids to run to the store. But not the corner store.
Nope, you gotta go.
You gotta go to the market.
The bigger one.
So when you get out of the apartment, take a right, take a left, go down to 36th and whatever. Here's $55 in cash. So if one of them is 9,
I think 7, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but sending them out into the streets of New York with $55 in cash, somewhere they don't know where they're going.
I think they kind of vaguely
with the vaguest, even if they've been there before. They're kids.
You're not going to do the thing.
Don't go to the corner store. They'll rip you off. No. Just down there. And so they actually make it there, and they're shopping.
You were wondering if it's dangerous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Dangerous to send children somewhere either they don't know where it is with the vaguest of directions.
I think that, assuming there's no predators out there that are going to get them, I think the 9-year-old would probably be fine. My 7-year-old can't figure out where his fucking school is. It's 3 blocks away.
Sure.
We walk there every morning and we walk back every afternoon. And we go out the front door. He's like, is it this way? Are you fucking serious, dude?
In any event, they get to the grocery store and they're just getting shit. And they're trying to figure out, do we get ground rosemary or leaves? And the young boy goes, leaves. And the older boy goes, well, why leaves? Because they look prettier. Real kid stuff. And then they lug all of this shit back to the apartment. You're just fighting their way up the stairs with bags of groceries. And they get upstairs, and quite a bit of the apartment is now in boxes.
Yeah, what the fuck happened here?
How long were they gone?
Is this that Rock Hudson movie where he swims from pool to pool through his neighborhood and it goes from like spring to fall to 5 years later?
Maybe.
In the span of a day.
Clearly, this was his intention. So maybe he got a jump start on it, his stuff. He's also got a friend there, Mark, I think. And he's like, guys, surprise, we're moving to a bigger apartment. And they're like, what? We like this apartment. What are you talking about? No, we're going to a better apartment. Mark, we got a truck coming. And you can tell he roped Mark in. And Mark, God bless his soul, he immediately realizes he's on the precipice of a possible kidnapping. So he's like,
Lenny, this is a really weird situation. I gotta get out of here.
Mark,
I'm gonna go.
Mark, do not do this to me. Please do not do this to me. 10 more minutes.
I really want to take your hand off.
Mark,
no more.
Do you think that's what's going on here? He's trying to keep them?
Yes.
That's the whole thing. It's not just his bad decisions have caught up to him and he can't afford the apartment. He's going somewhere else.
This
fucking dork has this planned?
It's hard to say because things go sideways, but it very much feels like, to me, that is the case. I don't know where else he would go. I don't know where he ends up going. So Mark, he's like, I'm gone, dude. And he's like, well, fuck. All right, boys, grab boxes. And he's somehow rigged straps onto the refrigerator because I think he put all of their toys and shit in the refrigerator. And he's taking that with him. Now, I don't know how they do it in New York, but normally here, when you move out of an apartment, you don't take the refrigerator. That's not something you bring in. And it's not something you bring out. You certainly don't strap it to your back while presumably full of shit and walk out with it downstairs with a box in your hand. But that's exactly what Lenny does because he's a fucking maverick.
Why didn't he fucking move before he kidnapped the kids?
I don't know.
Why would you save it for when they're there? He's so stupid.
When they're there, they're drawing on a table or whatever while he's cooking. Nothing seems amiss. Nothing seems packed. He also has a guy showing up with the truck, which the guy does. And he throws the stuff in the back of the box truck. There's no rolling door or it isn't down, but it's the kind of box truck that's got that elevating lift that you can get on and move without having to pull stuff out of it from ground level.
Folds up as a barrier to keep things in.
And he's like, yo, man, you're not driving well. Can you please correct that?
Well, at first he says, we're getting in the back. And he's like, what? I didn't agree to have kids in the back of this car.
Just do it. It's all good. Just do it is Lenny's motto. And so he stops the truck and he goes, look, man, I'm not going to have you tell me how to fucking drive. We're done. And what? So Lenny's on the side of the street with a refrigerator strapped to his back. Could you imagine just being somebody that lives there while this is filming, but not knowing that it's a movie and seeing that?
I mean, I think you probably see everything there.
I'm sure you do, but, New York, you just keep your head down and you keep walking, is what they always say. You don't make eye contact, you don't talk to people. So maybe people just are like, whatever. So this is where it gets, it's gotten weird already, but then the next we see them, they're on a platform to get into one of those gondolas that takes you to Roosevelt Island. And the children now they're kind of distraught. They're not sure what the hell's going on or why their dad is acting so manic. And they just want their mom, And so the tram's taking off. It's the tram that Spider-Man, remember from Spider-Man? When the goblin's like, hey, I'm going to drop this train or I'm going to drop this gal.
Yeah.
That's it. And then the movie ends as fog obfuscates the screen. Steam, probably, not fog. But
so he's taking the children.
Are
they all going to die on the island? I imagine he's going to jail.
Why you would bring the refrigerator? Maybe he's like, we're going to live in the woods now. Or he is going to jail if he doesn't die before then. Because it's getting to the point now where I'm sure the mom is aware that they're not where they're supposed to be.
I imagine she found out quite a while ago, yeah.
He certainly has no right to have them and took them under false pretenses and is carrying a refrigerator on his back. So things are not right. And that's the end of the movie, man.
I think actually probably he never would have made it out of the apartment. This is a rough movie.
Boy, it's uncomfortable watching this spiral.
Yeah.
But boy, Ronald Bronstein, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He's good.
Old Daddy Longlegs himself.
Yeah. I wonder why they called it that.
I think it's because he's always like shuffling around, full speed, zipping around town.
I will say it's definitely a better title than Go Get the Rosemary.
Yeah, it's a bad name. Yeah, the performances are good.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get a taste for the Safdies. I can't believe, for all the shitty Halloween movies you watched, I'm surprised you didn't immediately watch Good Time after this.
Is that a horror movie?
No, but it's a Safdie brothers movie.
Oh, because I've done that?
Yeah.
I have no interest in seeing any of their other movies.
Oh, man, you really should see Good Time.
I'm sure they're fine, but there's something sadistic about watching a lousy horror movie for no reason.
What's your rating on this movie?
On my spookometer, I'd probably give it a 4.
You'd get wouldn't you give it like a 10 on the spookometer while you're worrying about those kids dying?
No. But as a movie, boy, this really brought me back to 2009 when I'd go to, what was it called? Disco Round? And I'd be just gobbling up them indie movies. IFC? You kidding me? When it came to them IFC movies, I was a snob. You wouldn't even believe it. And so for that, I do like this movie beyond the content of the movie. I'm going to give it a 7.
Nice. I'm really conflicted on this. Like, I give everything a 7. I'd like to give it a 6. But the level of fear and discomfort and horror I had about him leaving those kids at home alone and drugging them was really fucking me up, man.
Yeah.
Fucking me up hard. It made me so uncomfortable and terrified for those children. I'm amazed that they made it out.
Well, we don't know if they did.
I'm going to give it a 6.
Even though I didn't like a lot of the things he did, I personally wasn't soured on him to the extent where I could watch him do these things. And I was right there with it. So I think, yeah, that says something. What? I don't know, but I just said it.
Did you not see Uncut Gems either?
No interest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really stressful movie.
I'm sure it is. So that's Daddy Longlegs, man.
Do you want to announce the next person?
Yeah. You want me to do it? Because I picked the name?
Yeah.
And our next person is going to be Radha Mitchell. I honestly, legitimately look fondly back on a couple of the movies from this earlier period that I saw her in. But even beyond that, everything I see her in, I like her in it, even if the movie's not that good. And a lot of the times she was just wife with a little bit of a meaty part, like in Man on Fire, Denzel Washington.
I've never seen that.
I think she's in The Crazies.
Oh, really? With Timothy Olyphant?
I think she's the wife in there, yeah.
Oh, fuck, that first The Crazies is pretty good.
Is that a Carpenter?
No, it's Ramiro.
Oh, right. Same thing.
No.
I'm joking.
Oh my God. Guys, I almost hulked out on him.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we're doing Radha Mitchell, man, and I'm excited.
Should be good. I'm excited. Looks like a fun filmography.
Yeah, there's going to be some Aussie shit in there. There's going to be some, indie stuff.
When you say Aussie things, I say like a crazy train. Yeah, sounds good, guys. We'll see you next week with the first Radha Mitchell movie, Drummer Boys, something about drummer boys.
More winners, boy soldiers.
Gosh.
Yeah, we should have dug that up.
We should have.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jules.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
We Doing Filmographies is part of the Now Playing Network, a great place to check out a wide assortment of other great podcasts like 96 Greers with hosts Reg Lynn and Patrick Rippley, Overhated with host Scott Weinberg, or if you're feeling particularly festive, Christmas Movies Actually with Carrie and Colin. All of these and more on NowPlayingNetwork.net.